those glasses, everybody looks light skinned. What do you want? Like the dude can't play. The dude can't
That,
play. I'm
all right,
frustrated
but you
too.
know what? Make it look like you wish you could play. Put on a fucking jumpsuit. He doesn't look. It's just the other day he's wearing in the Miami game. He looks like
Mm-hmm.
he's wearing the old LL Cool J hats
Yeah,
that from his old videos. He
you
looks
you,
ridiculous.
you want to know what's
He's getting
hilarious
paid.
about you saying that is right now
What?
I'm wearing a bucket hat. Now you make me feel bad about myself too.
You're at home by yourself. You're not being paid $30 million to sit on a sideline in a basketball game.
Dude, can I trust me on this. One day we'll talk about this again and you won't even be mad about this anymore. They all dress this way.
I've never seen Harden
James
has come to
James
games
Harden is
wearing like
much more
so
animated on the bets. I give you that. But
he'll wear like a soda can for all I, but he's engaged in the fucking game. This guy he claps like Nash with the stupid like palm on palm clap. Another one.
they're foreigners. look,
Yeah,
look, man.
foreigners.
I try not to get. I try not like unless it directly affects being able to play. I try not to get into the personal lives of these dudes because these dudes lead lives that we wouldn't even understand. You
Ben
understand?
Simmons is from another era that I'll never understand.
Yo, how do you think it feels? I'm older than you, way
Yeah.
older than you, and so
Well,
I'm telling
but
you,
I'm
I look at
white,
this
so
shit
that
and
I
I
have the
think it's
curve.
bizarre.
White people have to curve. I got to add 4 years. You got to grade me on a curve.
but yeah, I honestly, maybe it's because I look at Ben as our only hope. Like we win that game yesterday if Ben plays, right?
Yeah,
Don't
maybe.
don't we? I mean, how much better
We
of a
got
lineup is
we have
this?
no shot without him to beat that team.
We
Zero.
we really
You
don't.
put you put us, especially with the playoff games in Milwaukee.
Hmm.
We're not winning those games in there. Your teams are going to shoot worse. They're going to play even. They're going to ratchet up even more on defense.
Yeah,
We
we're not
can't
beating
compete
that
with
team.
them physically.
We're not beating that team without we can't show up to games with Bruce Brown starting, and I
No.
don't even care who the center is. But if Bruce Brown is going to be the starter, and it's not because he's not playing well, he's playing well for Bruce Brown, but he's not giving you like he doesn't give you a mismatch ever. Like the reason why you like small ball and you like going to small players is because you're putting one more skill player on the team. He is not a skill player. He is a
Right.
micro power forward. And he has no freaking game. Like it's so scary to watch because you'll get because he's basically playing wide open. Nobody is guarding him. He looks way better than what he is, and it covers up how he's hurting us. One, tell me if this is true or not, Matt. We can't finish fast breaks. If we ever get a steal, and we're a small team, so we're gonna get steals.
We had one fast break, which was the alley oop to Durant, and I turned to my brother and I said, "That's the first one they've converted all night."
and that's a problem with the roster. We
And they
don't.
usually end in turnovers. Not even like they don't score. They usually end in like a turnover going the
Right.
other way.
And now when they get fast breaks, they slow it down. They like stop running. There's been a few plays that should have ended in a fast break, and the one that ended up with the dunk where he got the hard the technical, not technical foul, but the flagrant two. He like if that's a if that's a real guy, there's not like a real guy dunking the ball. Like he had to jump way more than
Well,
someone.
that's because he slowed down and didn't realize until it was too late that Middleton had caught up.
But even if he slowed down, and that was dare I say Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is yak like that shot is
Yeah,
going.
right, right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we don't have where we get what Nets fans get fucked up, and I not to toot my horn because I don't want to be right about this type of shit. But we've ignored this position, the big wing, to the part where I'm hearing I'm hearing names like remember I got so desperate at one point I wanted I was like, fuck it, get Lelangelo Ball. He's in the G League. You could just sign him. You could just
Right.
pick him up. Because at least if even if like let's say that it was that fast break, not only would he have gotten the foul on what's his name on Middleton, but he also would have finished that basket. And you need guys. You need this is a long like the NBA is so the NBA is so different from from um where it started that uh the NBA is so different from where it started that it's a completely different game. You got 7 footers who pop up on the wing from
The skill level is absurd.
it's crazy. And now you look at all these teams that the Nets have to beat. When I was talking about this years ago, people was like, no, it's small ball now. The basketball's changed. It's small ball. It's small ball. No, it's not. It's long ball. It's
Yeah,
not big
it,
post ball.
it's a form of small ball, but it's just what it means is that like the Drummonds are not like the centerpieces anymore.
Correct.
You still want height, you still want length, you still want power, but it comes packaged with skill now.
That's right. And a handle, and you operate on the perimeter, and you attack the basket from there. And if you got guys that can't do that, it's you're just done. Like LaMarcus Aldridge can't do that. You know, he's sedentary in the post type of dude. Drummond can't do that. He barely has any other skills besides doing what he does. And then and then there's nobody on the bench who can do that
Yeah.
either.
Hey, can
So
we talk about Steve Nash?
yeah. Why don't you start it off?
Well, so first, I got like maybe 4 or 5 text messages from people last night,
Mm-hmm.
including one from a buddy of mine who sent me a screenshot of a text from his father asking why the Nets had their guards under the basket on free throws, which came back to haunt them. But more importantly, let me ask you that. And I said we had this conversation after Game 3 in Milwaukee last year, where I said, Nash, this is where he showed up. Yeah, they got bad shots at the end of that game, no timeouts. Last night, Kevin Durant is on the foul line shooting 3 foul shots to put the Nets up 1. The Nets have Kevin Durant, Nick Claxton, Dragic, Curry, and Irving on the floor. He makes no subs. He also allows Giannis to get the ball inbounds with the nearest defender at half court with
Mm-hmm.
8 seconds in. How does nobody A, deny him the ball, B, have token pressure to make him change courses? He gave him a beeline straight to the basket. Steve Nash is a bad coach with 2 Hall of Fame caliber players that bail him out. We have no offense. I'd love for you to tell me what offense we run
We run
because we
seven
don't
seconds or
run
less.
one.
We run 7 seconds or less, but we have 2 players who are not 7 seconds or less players. Our superstars
Okay,
don't.
so we have a bad strategy then.
It's not a bad strategy. It's there is no like even when Kevin Durant was on Golden State, they'd run plays for Steph Curry. This is where I started. I caused the internet uproar of this because I said Steph Curry's a system player. He's gonna loop around people. He's gonna come off the curl. People are gonna people are gonna do stuff in a system so that Curry could break out. You can't run. You can't tell Kyrie Irving or Kevin Durant you've got to pass, shoot, or do something in 7 seconds
No,
or
maybe
less.
he can.
He nobody can. No, like what coach in the history of basketball that these two dudes have played for has ever played them in a structured system? And you've seen it yourself and said it earlier on this very podcast that like you can't run a pick and roll with Kyrie. So a
Well,
good
hold
coach
on.
doesn't try to force what works on a player a system on a player, they're not. They're not. They're like those guys are number one and number two or some crazy like thing like that in isolation plays. They may not be anymore, but at some point of the season, um, one of the dweebs in Nets Twitter posted
All right,
that
so you can't tell those guys what to do on offense. Can you tell
it's
somebody
not
to?
telling. Okay, what is the best thing for you to do with Kevin Durant? Post him up,
Well, hold on. I'm gonna grant
run a
you.
pick
I'm
and
gonna
roll.
I'm gonna grant you. I'm gonna grant you the point you made about the offense. Can he tell somebody to deny Giannis the ball? Can he tell somebody to give him token pressure? Can he make an offensive defensive sub at that point in the game?
Matt, is that something that you tell in on the NBA level to deny the best player on the
Obviously,
other
you
team
have
the
to
ball?
because they didn't do it.
Okay, but that's them. The
But what do
players
we tell?
fucking
He's
act
the
like dickheads.
coach.
We we the coach.
He's the coach. He should say these guys don't know this, so I'm gonna make sure they know it.
No, it's not
Your
that they don't
son
know it.
is.
It's
Think
not
about
that
your
they
son,
don't.
right? You probably tell your son things every single day that he's probably rolling his eyes. He's tired of hearing from you, right? But you tell it
It's
to
no
him
question.
every day to make sure.
Right.
That's
So
he's the parent of the
uh,
team. Hey, make sure someone gets up there.
can I, you cannot sit here, Matt, and a lot of Nets fans feel this way. A lot. This is opinion. This is a dirty opinion that I really feel bad for Steve Nash because I watch how these narratives get created, and I hate that word narrative. I hate hearing people say the word narrative. However, I watch how these things happen. Number one, the Steve Nash beef is over Kyrie. When they didn't want to blame Kyrie. It's a marriage. I'm not saying that
Not
you're
me.
doing this.
Not me.
I know
Not me.
you didn't like Steve Nash from the door, so
And
I'll give you.
hold on. I hate them all equally. Every player, coach, I hate the whole team. So don't lump me in with that.
No,
I hate them all.
but you understand that there's an undercurrent of that, like where the idea becomes truth. That's what ideology is. But the reality was, he coached the team into a 9-point lead when I sent that horrible message and I felt all good and I was tired. I wanted to go to sleep. Um, I
Right.
I thought we were winning that game because he took the momentum away from it. It was individual player shit. Yo, Kyrie scored 5 points. Kyrie's a bad defender. If you have a bad defender on your floor, he can't score 5 points in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
Right?
In
Like,
fairness, they rarely went to him.
uh, but the reason, like KD was going to whoever was open. Kyrie wasn't trying to get open. Like, he come down, he kind of do his thing, and when he couldn't make it, he just kicks to whoever could catch the pass. It's like, I get it. When he's actually making those shots and not shooting 40%, when he's shooting 50%, when he's shooting upper 40s, it looks a lot different. And you don't even think about Nash. Like, nobody gave Nash credit for beating the Heat.
No.
This
My
team,
biggest concern with
hold on. You're comparing the Nets, a team that starting five have maybe played together 6 games, to a team that hasn't been changed much in the past 3 years. This is a team that has been together losing Eastern Conference Finals. They finally break through last year and they bring back 4 of the 5 starting guys. It's not fair to compare, man. It's gonna look bad. I hate that we're there because I'm ready to fire a coach all the time. My problem with the Steve Nash thing is I have to face the reality that I'm gonna have Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant for the next whatever amount of years. I can't think of a coach who makes that better. Who like who's not gonna
they need
flip out on
somebody.
Kyrie and then just lose him completely. Like, imagine if Kyrie checks out on this fucking team, what would happen?
Then you fire the next guy, but you need somebody that can handle the management of the end of the game situations. And that's where Nash freezes up and struggles.
But again,
And it's
he
not every
got the
night, but
superstars their shot. You wanted the ball in Kevin Durant's hands. He was the hot guy that night. Kyrie wasn't shooting well.
No. It's more than that. It's having Kevin Durant at half court and Kyrie Irving under the basket, and Giannis misses 2 free throws, and they get an offensive rebound and